He's a wine. Is a wine.
Sound of Music. Isn't this where the Sound of Music took place?
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm not
The
the.
Sound of Music.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I think so. I love it when the Sound of Music people came on and they said the Sound of Music and they sounded music all over the audience.
I don't even have a response to that.
You know, the Von Trapp family actually grows cheese in Vermont. They grow cheese.
Okay, well, what do they grow in Austria?
Grapes, I guess.
Gruner?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, it's real. Let's keep it real. Are we a little bit more crisp today?
I hope so. We got a new webcam. So we're up in our game. Up in our game.
Only took like 20 episodes, but here we are.
Jesus Christ, is it 20 episodes?
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
All right, Austria. This is a beautiful region in Austria. This is the entire country. It's that time where we do a little bit of annotation. Let me pick a color that's not green. So we're just going to be looking at a couple principal regions. This region over here, and then we have the bottomland down here. Our climate is going to be cool continental. We are having a nice moderating influence from the Alps mountain range for the western part of the country. And most of our vineyards are to the east, so we have this protection from the west, and thus we put our vineyards on the other side where they're protected. In the east, our more northern regions are going to have slightly cooler vineyard growing environments because of their northerly placement on the map. We're going to have a little bit more wind in that area, and our regions towards the Hungarian border are going to have a little bit warmer wind.
All right. Let's firstly talk about Austrian wine laws. So your PDO, defined by the EU, is going to be translated into Qualitätswein. Same word that Germany uses. So the PDO is generic, large region. It can be made with any of the 40 permitted varietals in any region or style. However, if we want to get more specific, we start talking about the Districtius Austriae Controlius, or the DAC, we'll call it. So it was introduced in 2002, so it's like 21 years ago, to promote regional styles and consistency. So the winemakers of the region must agree on a style of wine, permitted grapes for a region, and then finally be granted DAC status. Within the DAC, a village or a vineyard name may also appear on the label of your bottle. There are also non-DAC wines grown in Austria. Wines here can also be made using the Prädikat classification defined in Germany, actually. And you have an additional level known as Schroffwein or Schleifwein, where grape bunches are laid on straw mats and they concentrate their flavors and sweetness and as they dry over winter. Predicate wine classifications, they can't really be used in a specific region where a DAC already exists. In this case, the wine must be labeled with the generic region. You have a PGI known as Landwein.
Our grape varietals we're going to see are primarily white. We'll see a lot of white production in this region, with our most primary being Welsh Riesling, which is actually not really related to Riesling at all. We can make this in two main styles. We'll see a drier style that's going to be more green and citrus fruited with high acidity, and our sweeter style is going to have slightly thinner skin and is going to be a little bit more susceptible to botrytis as such. And we're seeing lots of high quality sweet wine being made with Welsh Riesling. Riesling, the original, the OG, we're seeing our best examples come out of the DACs of Kamptal, Kremstal, and Wachau. And they do have potential to age in bottles when they are really good examples of Riesling coming out of these areas. And we're not seeing as many plantings of Riesling as Welsh Riesling. And when we have a regular style, we're sort of in a dry, medium, and full body range with nice, ripe, and fruity, peachy characteristics. Some of our other white grape varieties, we're going to see some Chardonnay production. We're going to see some Müller-Thurgau, as well as some Sauv Blanc.
All right. Moving on to our black grapes. Just an overall note about our black grapes grown in Austria. Oak is very common here. So first we have Zweigelt, which is a red grape with deep color, but with soft tannins and like almost characteristics like bramble fruit, as the book describes. Next, moving on to Blaufränkisch.
Blaufränkisch.
It is the highest regarded black grape in Austria. And when made into a wine, you have medium tannins, high acid, and it's almost like peppery with like a sour cherry kind of flavor to it. Next, we have Saint Laurent, which is an Austrian grape that is very similar in characteristics to Pinot Noir. And speaking of Pinot Noir, we have some other grape varietals that are grown here, such as Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot.
So we do have some PDO regions for wine production. Our biggest sort of overarching one is going to be the, this one's going to be rough. Niederösterreich, which is just a large PDO in the lower part of Austria, which contains some DACs entrenched within it. The majority of the vineyards are going to be planted by the banks of the Danube River, which is going to be helpful if we're going to make a bachatized, sweeter style of wine. We have the region of Wachau, which is super highly regarded for making premium wine, generally with Gruner as well as Riesling, making really nice style dry wines. South-facing terraces are what we're going to see producing the best quality wine. And this south-facing aspect provides for the best conditions for grape ripening. The Weinviertel,
yeah,
DAC was actually the first DAC after that 2002 decision to make DACs a thing to preserve regional quality and style. Wines can only be made from Gruner Veltliner, and we have two levels that can be made in this region. We have classic and reserve. Classic is going to have no oak with a little bit lighter alcohol, lighter body. It's going to be a little fresher, a little bit fruitier. And our reserve is going to be higher in that minimum alcohol content and does have the opportunity to be aged in oak.
All right, moving on to Burgenland. This is Eastern Austria. And here, this region is known for high quality sweet and red wine production. However, dry whites are also produced using the grapes Pinot Blanc, Welsh Riesling, Gruner, and Chardonnay. So sweet wine production, the best vineyards for sweet wine production lie on the low-lying ground near that's an Austrian word, Neuschlägerlies. We're going to call it the lake. There's a lake that they grow by. And you have these like autumn mists that actually encourage botrytis growth. And we're using the Welsh Riesling grape here to produce your sweet wine coming out of Burgenland. Red wine production, the best vineyards are on a higher ground away from the lake in the southerly hills of the region. Here's Zweigelt is king. However, the Niederschelles, the lake is considered a DAC for Zweigelt. And there are 3 DACs in the greater Burgenland district for Blaufränkisch, and the largest of which is Mittelburgenland.
I think we should have some lessons on Austrian pronunciations as a video at some point.
Yeah.
We're learning with you. We're learning with you. But really,
that's Austria.
That's Austria. It's pretty quick, not a whole lot.
Short, painless.
It got a little painful towards the end.
Well, it's just the pronunciations. That's what's painful.
It was a little painful. But
all right.
Keep it real. I hope you liked seeing us in 4K.
Keep it real.